Good morning, Fret friends. Now, straight away, new project on the bench. No bones about it. This is a Chibson. It's a copy of a Gibson, made in China. It's, look at it. You've not seen anything like that before, surely. Looks fantastic. So you're saying, why is it in then? Well, it is a Chibson. And the neck here is twisted. And it's twisted down this way, so it twists that way. It's a brand new guitar. So I would say the wood we've used in this neck has not been dried properly. There's some damp in there, and now it's been strung on, blah blah blah, whatever. And it's dried and it's twisted over. So I've been asked to, if I could straighten the neck. Yes, I can straighten the neck, but I can't guarantee it's going to stay straight. But I've been asked to straighten the neck, which I'm going to do. He also said if it needs a refret, give it one. Now frets are lifting, it seems, in some areas. Can't tell properly till I've got the strings off, but the fret wire looks crap. It's all tarnished, it looks really, really cheap. And that's the thing, guys. You know, you're paying £350 for these or whatever you pay. And it's got a vibrator on there, and it looks the part. It's got a varitone switch on there. It's got binding, blah, 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 blah. Oh, what I think is binding. And it looks great. But the thing is, it's a Chibson. Can I get this playing right? Can I get the neck straight? I can get the neck straight. Can I get the neck to stay straight? I don't know. That's your problem. That is your lookout. You're doing this at your own risk. I'm going to straighten the neck, and I'm going to see what works, what the frets need, if they need anything. He says, not bothered how much it costs, as long as I get it done right. Things I can't guarantee this neck is going to stay straight. I will get it straight. I'm going to put it on my jig over there in a bit, and you'll see more about it. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to plug it in, make sure everything works. Once I find that everything is working, we're going to remove the strings, going to remove the nut, and we're going to have a look at the state of the neck, and I'm going to see. I'm going to get it up on the jig there, and we're going to try and get the neck straight. The problem I've got with this is, will it stay straight? I can't guarantee that, can I? Every one I've ever done, I said, I can't guarantee it's going to stay straight. I can get it straight, but I can't guarantee it's going to stay straight. Now, fortunately, everyone I've straightened so far over the years, including the Warwick basses, they've all stayed straight. Some of those Warwick basses, and one of those guitars I did in 1973, was it 73 Gibson Custom? I did for a guy. I straightened his neck. No one else would touch it in Britain. Even the Gibson specialist wouldn't touch it. I got that straight. I charged him £700 to have everything done to it, and I got it straight. It's still straight to this day. The Warwicks I've always done, have always stayed straight to this day. The first one I did, first Warwick I did, I believe, was in, is it 2016, 2017? So it's 6-7 years ago. Still as straight as a die, that neck. So, you know, but like I say, I can't guarantee it will stay straight, but I'm going to do the work. Looking at these frets, I don't like the look of these frets. The metal looks horrible. It's all tarnished, they're lifted in places, but we'll see when we get down to it. So let me get it stripped, and I'll come back and give you an update shortly. So I had a tinkle and a play. Sounds alright. I don't know what the varitone switch does. If anything, this gubbins here does that sound any different to anyone? So, you know, plays okay, but not sure what varitone does a thing. Doesn't do anything, does it? So that's there for show. Everything else works. Bridge pickup, both pickups, which is where I had it. Neck pickup. Wired the wrong way around. Normally you have your neck there and you bridge there. This is the opposite way around, bridge there, neck there. Let's have a quick go. So yeah, so what can I tell you? The Veritone doesn't seem to do anything at all. That's plugged into my Spark 40, by the way. Nothing set up, just turned on. That sounds pretty good. So, Veritone does nothing. What can I tell you? We're going to whiz the strings off and have a look at the frets. Let me just drop us down a little. There you go, guys. I'm going to whiz these strings off. A big blob of glue behind the nut there as well. So the Veritone, I'm not dismantling everything to get inside this F-hole to find out if that's wired into anything. Maybe it's there for show, I don't know. It wouldn't have been difficult to wire it up, would it? It should basically be a pot with 5 different capacitors on it, but I doubt it is. But the thing is, what's the point of putting it on for show? So a few things about the guitar that are shoddy. It's a Chibson. I don't know what that is on there. I've got no idea. Should that even be there? The shape of this truss rod cover is not right. It's not even finished properly. It's very tatty at the edges. It's not even been smoothed off. The nut looks to be plastic. No idea what the strings are. Nothing spectacular. Just got a brass end on there, so they're not Dioderios or anything. We're just going to bin them straight away. So I'm going to give the guitar the once over and just check everything. That's not a piece of ebony, by the way, it's stained wood, whatever it is. I'm not going to go into why people buy these. I wouldn't. That string in there is just pinched in there, look, it's stuck in there. There's much better guitars than this around for 350 quid. I understand you want it to look the part, but at what cost? They're just some ugly guitar strings there, look. We'll bin these. So they're not getting the knot off. Massive, massive blob of glue behind it here. Plastic, piece of crap plastic nut. I'm going to lift it up to the camera and just show. Now I'm going to open the blind, by the way. I know you can't see the full extent of the guitar when the blinds, but I like to let some daylight in. Now I'm fortunate enough to have some great daylight strip lighting in this place. Let's remove this. That is static, that's good. We'll wang those in there, get them in all the way. Frets are not clever at all. But let's show you the knot while we're here. Massive bleb of glue this side here. Looks like a plastic knot, really horrible. We'll be swapping that out. Still got the plastic on the truss rod cover, so that's probably why it looks so tatty. But the frets, look how tarnished they are already. So really not great quality frets there. Let's just have a quick look at the neck. Should be 24 3/4, which it is. With the strings off, that neck is just about straight. Now that's a good thing, it's got some backbone in it. Now the problem with this is it's not going to have the proper truss rod adjuster, is it? See if I can grab. There you go. It's probably going to have an Allen key wrench one. It shouldn't have an Allen key wrench one. It should have a nut. Proper Gibson one has a nut. Now the only reason this is on the bench now is because it needs to go on the neck jig. I'm actually working on another 355, an Harley Benson. And there you go, it's just a regular Allen wrench on there, 5mm, I'll be able by the looks of it. I don't even know where my truss rod ones are, so I'll have to find them in a little while. I'll quickly zip over the frets if I can. I haven't got a little bit of background here, but let's just check the frets. I can already see gaps under the frets at the edges. These aren't going to be level. Now we know the neck's not straight. The problem with getting this neck straight is we've got to get straight. We can't look at that. We can't remove the neck from this guitar. So this definitely needs a fret level. I will probably go with a refret. Do I want to refret something like this? It's up to the client. If I level these frets, oh I mean come on, these are terrible. Absolutely shocking. So now you can have my opinion on these Chibsons. Garbage. Those frets are all over the place. Definitely needs a fret level. Looking at the fret wire, might need a refret. Refret something like this, you're looking at 275 quid, 300 quid. With the neck being straightened, 400 quid. You're looking 400 quid here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to straighten the neck and see if I can get it to stay straight. We'll take it from there. Now I'm just going to go try and get this knot off. I don't think it's going to come off clean. Just get a blade. X-Acto knife. I'm going to cut through this glue this side. This is a job in itself, getting the knot off. Now we may get it straight off. Cutting through lots of glue this side. I don't want to whack this. Let's take a big chunk of wood out with it because that has happened in the past. I'm going to hold that there and I'm just going to tap this way. There you go, you see we've got that nice and clean because I hold that behind it. So we've got the nut out clean. It's left a bit of residue in there. Piece of horrible plastic. That's the difference between 3,500 quid and 3,500 quid. So I've got to chip that bit out here, which I can do, not a problem. The wood, I'll tell you now, that looks to be like MDF. That's really worrying. That might not be a wood neck. That might be MDF. That's MDF, this guitar doesn't have a chance. Can you see it where you are? That doesn't look like real wood to me. That is very worrying. Is that a piece of MDF? If that is, this is an absolute pile of junk. Stop buying these guys. Stop buying them. I don't know what to do with this right now. Okay, so my findings. I'm recommending that this guitar has a refret. Let me remember, I can get my thumbnail under these frets. Absolute junk. Also, I've told the guy I can't guarantee, I'm not guaranteeing the work. I can't guarantee the work. I'll just remove the nut. It's not MDF, but that looks like MDF to me. That nut shelf looks like a piece of MDF. It's probably really cheap. I don't know what it is. I don't even know if it's maple. I've got no idea. I'm going to send a picture off to a friend of mine, a couple of good friends, and ask them what they think. The nut didn't come out clean, but that's okay. The shelf itself will be clean, it'll clean up nice. But I've told the guy I cannot guarantee that this neck will stay straight, so I'm not prepared to give you any kind of guarantee at all. I say I will do the work, for which I'll charge you 400 quid. It's 275 for a refret, including the fret wire, including a new bone nut cut from a blank. I'm going to charge 125 quid to straighten the neck, so I'm going to charge 400 quid for the lot. That's all inclusive, that's including all the parts and what have you. But I can't guarantee it, I will not guarantee it, I'm not putting my name to it because I don't know if this will stay straight. The fingerboard wood, I don't know what it is. It's something stained to look like ebony. It's, again, I don't know what it is. What would I do with this myself? Well, I would have bought it. But it's a simple story. I would not have bought anything like this. I'm afraid you get what you pay for with these. And it's hit and miss. Some might be alright. Certainly if this was alright, if the neck wasn't twisted and the fret wire was better, it'd have been worth the money. But come on guys, you've got to wake up to this. You're not getting a Chibson style guitar for 350 to 400 quid. It's not going to happen. You know, you've got to pay that 3,500 to 4,000 quid. So anyway, that's what I've told the guy. I've said, you know, I can't put my name to it. I could even level these frets, but the crap, I can get my thumbnail under them. I've been across with fret rocky, you've heard how many frets are rocking. You know, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this video together as it is and just send it to the client and he can decide from there. Bear with me a second. I just said I'm going to put this video together, send it to the client as it is and tell him, look, I can't guarantee that this is going to stay straight because it's cheap wood. I'm also going to recommend a refret. There's no point working these frets. I can get my thumbnail under them in certain places. Absolute garbage. To anyone else out there, don't buy these. Don't buy these. I'll be flabbergasted if I get this refretted, the neck straight and refretted, and it stays like it. And it does happen. I've straightened, I don't know how many necks I've straightened over the years. Every one I've done so far stayed straight. The first one I did major was the Warwick bass, which was severely twisted, bent and warped. It was bent every way possible. I spent 45, 50 hours on that guitar. And I got it perfectly straight without taking the frets out. Got it perfectly straight, got the frets levelled, gave it back to the owner. It is still going strong 7 years later. It's still perfectly straight neck. So, you know, like I say, but end of the day, Warwick's a Warwick. This is a cheap Chinese thing made out of woods unknown. I don't know what wood this neck is made of. That does look like MDF. If that's MDF, there's no way that neck is ever going to be straight. In fact, you can't make a neck out of MDF. So I would imagine it's some cheap maple derivative. I don't know. I'm not a woodworker. I'm not a luthier. I'm a guitar tech. But I'm going to recommend, forget the neck straight, which I will do. I recommend these frets come out because they are, I've got my thumbnail under that bit there, look. They're really, really bad. If you want to do in sheet, oh, I've got my thumbnail under there as well. I'm recommending straighten the neck, refret the guitar, new bone nut, proper setup, good set of strings. That's including all my labour, all the parts. I'm going to charge extra for parts, and that's the best I can do. So that's where we are with that. So we're going to attempt to straighten this neck. Now, remember from earlier, the neck is twisted this way. So we need to twist it back that way. Now what I've done is I've built up quite a bit of cardboard and tape on this side of the guitar. I used to use a couple of strips of metal with some cardboard underneath to stop what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using these two guitar strings on the tuners to twist the neck back the way I like. I normally use some metal, I used to have some metal cornered bits here, but I don't know where they are, so I've had to fashion up something new out of 2 bits of cardboard and a lot of tape. And that means when I attach these to the tuning pegs, we're not going to cause an indentation in the side of the headstock, because that would not be professional. So I've just altered, I've just put these 2 guitar strings, E strings on the far side, and what we're going to do is we're going to get these ready, and these are going to twist the neck for us. Don't know what's happening with that there. I might just cut that little end off here. So, I mean, these tuners, I think these tuners are hollow. How cheap can you get? If they are hollow, I need to cut the end off that because it's just no good. Right. See where we are with this. You'll get the idea of it once I. Right, that's there. I'm going to bend the string that way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn. I might only need one of these, but I'll put two on because I normally always put two on. And you're going to bear with me while I wind this. What I need to do first is make sure the neck is dead straight and support it, which I've not done. I'm jumping ahead of myself there. Right, we've got some fall off down at the body end of the guitar, so we need to loosen off that truss rod just a little. Again, if we get this straight, the fret wire is atrocious. Should be careful with that. So we now have a little bit of relief in here, but it's fall away at the neck, at the body end of the guitar anyway. So it's not made that brilliant. The neck is not straight regardless of anything. So I'm going to tighten it up again. And this is a problem. The guitar looks fantastic, but is it fantastic? Far, far from it. So you can't buy the real thing. There is loads of fall away from the 15th fret onwards. The actual neck itself dips down towards the body, so nothing I can do about that. I'm sure I can get it playable. Was it worth chucking the money at it? Let's scrap this one. Okay guys, so we have the jig over on my main bench. I'm just going to check that the neck's straight. That's not straight at all. There's relief in there. So let's tighten. So I don't relief back though. Let's see where. There's no tension on the truss rod there. Let's see where we are first. Right, we've got fall away at the body end, and we have got a little bit of relief in there. We've got relief in there, so we need to tighten the truss rod. I'm going to give it about that much. Fall away we can do nothing about. From a 15th fret onwards, the frets fall down into the body. I think it's just the neck itself. Now then, there's a tiniest bit of relief left in there. Have a little turn, that's as much as I want to go. Okay, that neck is as straight as we can get it. There is fall away though from a 15th fret down on the far side. I can't do anything about that. So we have the neck straight. What we're going to do is I'm going to put my support rods underneath the guitar because we're going to be twisting it. Move this out of the way. So I'm going to explain a couple of things. Let's first get this neck supported. I couldn't do this on my proper Stumac jig because I don't have these screws down here for holding the guitar strings. So what you've seen is I've got guitar strings. I'm going to thread these through the tuners on this side because the neck's twisted this way. We need to twist it back that way. So we're going to use the tuners of the guitar. Now, I used to have two pieces of metal bent over at 90 degrees that sat along the edge of the headstock, so when we tightened them it didn't pull into the wood of the headstock, but I can't find them anymore. So I've gone with lots of tape and 2 thick pieces of card, and that should stop any indentations going into the wood from here. So there you go. So what we're going to do is tighten these 2 tuners, and that's going to twist the neck back. We're not going to apply any heat until we've got it twisted back to where it needs to be. And like I said, I'm using 2 tuning pegs. One was probably enough, but these tuning pegs, I don't trust them. For starters, I think these are hollow. Really cheaply made. These tuners are plastic as well, they're not even metal. Or these tuning heads are not metal. The big in your here is my wife on WhatsApp, probably telling me to get dinner on. Because it's kind of that time of day. So we can do 2 together, let's see where we are. This one's slipping or snapping, I don't know. Probably needs some new string on there. But let's see, so where are we? So we are starting to turn that back. That is tight. That is still loose. I think that one's working, I think that's just slipping. But this one's working. And that's the reason I get the rods right underneath to stop the neck bowing. Now this one I need to stop, I'm going to hold it to push it up. And that should. And then right now I'm turning this one. And it is twisted back. And that has twisted back enough. Or has it? No, it hasn't yet. I think the string's knackered. That's not tightening anything, I don't think. Yeah, that's had it, that one. So we're going to take this one off, put a new guitar string on there. I mean, might we get it away with one? I don't know. Once we get to where I want it to be, we're going to get some heat in there. We're nearly there, but I'm going to need 2. Definitely going to need 2. So let me sort another string out. This string snapped. There you go, you can see it snap up. Put that one off. Do we have enough left? Well, we might do. Let's see where we are. We might have enough. I've got plenty of strings knocking about. I doubt it's enough on here, but we'll see. We might have enough on there, it might just give us enough. My idea is to twist this enough to get the neck straight, get some heat in there and through. frets are horrible. They're all sharp at the edges, they're all lifting up. This needs a refret as well. But like I said, I've told him I'll straighten it and I'll hold it for 2 months. If it stays straight, we'll look at refretting it. So that's where we are. I've got it back to where it needs to be. We're going to get some heat in there. I'll show you how to do that shortly. Good morning, fret friends. You're seeing everything as I see it. I've taken off the clamps. I've undone the clamps here, and I'm just going to remove this tape that we use to secure the cardboard I had underneath, which again was to protect the edge of the headstock. And I can always make this up as I need it in the future. All being well, we won't take any paint off. It is. There you go. There's no indentation on the headstock at all. We have got the neck straight, by the way. So this is why I'm taking everything off. That neck is as straight as we can get it. The big problem for me is in the other area. It's going to be, let me just move the camera. And I'm going to explain to you. And I'm not going to zoom in on it, but this side of the neck and this side are different. This side is 2 mil lower than this side. It means the neck, instead of being straight, right, it is up on the treble side by about 2 millimeters from the body in the neck heel. So either the body's been cut wrong, or it is not, the neck heel was not cut correctly. Also means that the radius is skew if. It's higher this side than it is this side. You can probably see it here, a bit lower here, there. Now what I could do is to compensate for that is take the frets out and re-radius the whole board. That is then going to take off this colour of this, because I don't think this is dark wood, I think this is just maple or something and they've just stained it. I don't know for sure. Now you're going to see here, there's tape, moving on a little bit, there's tape on the top of these inlays. And why did I do that? In the past, using heat, I've scorched the inlays and they've yellowed. So I decided to put 3 layers of masking tape over the top to hopefully eradicate that problem, and the inlays would not have scorched. And they haven't. Look at that. So we've straightened the neck. I say straighten the neck, the neck still has problems. And we have not scorched the inlays. That's one I had a peek at. That's not, there's tape residue on there which I've got to get off. Now I find that white spirit works better than anything else. So, we're not out of the woods with this yet. It's higher on this side than it is this side. It means the neck, where it should be sat in dead straight, is not, it's sat in. Let me do it this way, where the neck should be dead straight. Imagine this is a body underneath my hand. It's higher on the treble side and it should be. So what we're going to do is we're going to skim some off this edge. We're going to re-radius it if I have to. I'm thinking these frets have to come out. They're not even sat right down on the fingerboard. This might be more, I mean look, I've got my nail under there. Let me show you where we are. I'm going to get a 0.2 millimeter feeler gauge. So friends, fret friends, do not 0.2 millimeters under there. Can you see that, guys? I'm going to zoom in. Don't bother buying this crap, because it's crap. Look at this. 0.2 millimeter feeler gauge, right? Look at this. Under the fret. Under the frets. I don't even know if I want to rescue this. It's going to be more work for me. More trouble it's worth. What I may do is, with the neck now straight, I may just level the frets best I can and try and get it playable for the lad. I don't think I want to refret this myself. Look at this feeler gauge underneath. This is, it's terrible. Let me take a picture. And I'm going to call them out and say this guitar is junk. Right, I'm going to take a picture. Somebody take a picture. Just going to choose this fret here, fret 4. That's a 0.2mm feeler gauge, so you can get the size of the feeler gauge on there. Can't get the size of it. I think it's even thicker than that. Let me get a 0.3. I'll try and get a 0.3. I think we'll get a 0.3 under there, and hopefully you can see. Fret friends, fret Romans and fret countrymen. That is a 0.3mm feeler gauge. I hope that's showing up on there. But look, it's under the fret. So take my word for it, it's a 0.3mm feeler gauge. I can show you right now. 0.3mm feeler gauge, you see that? And it's under the frets. So I don't think the fret slots are deep enough, which means if I refret this, I've got to cut them fret slots deeper. It's too much work. It is. I'm sorry guys, it's a pile of junk. But there you are, it's what we've got to work with. So I'll come back later, have a look at the frets, see if we can get them level, get the rest of this residue out of the nut area. We'll chip and chop that out. I'm going to have to stick a new nut on there, so I'm going to have to charge him. I don't know what I'm going to charge him yet, we'll have to wait and see. Back with this, for want of a better description, Chibson. Totally forgot what model it is, I'm not even going to check it out, I'll look it up. But I did say I'll straighten the neck and I'll come back in 2 months and see if it's still straight. And the neck, even though twisted and installed incorrectly on the body, it is still straight. So we could refret it and could get it playable. My big concern is, can you see here and here, looking at this area where my finger is, this part of the neck, and it is lower on this side. It's lower on this side, there is this side. It's not put in straight, it's put in twisted that way. Now I can refret it and we can alter the bridge enough to make it playable. It's just not going to be perfect. In fact, it's going to be, I won't say far from perfect, but I don't know if you can see these frets, but they're all lifted. They've got to come out. Now my problem is getting a saw inside the binding to saw the slots deep enough for the new fret wire. Or do I just remove the bottom of the fret wire with a tool with a Dremel so it fits into the slots. Now I can refret this, not a problem. And I do believe the original of this guitar will cost you £10,000 if you can find one, if you can buy one used. I'm happy to refret this and get it set up. And what have you, and get it playable for you. But it's going to cost, I've got no idea how much it's going to cost. We're going to be looking at £500 for the whole job, maybe more, I don't know yet, I've not costed it. But it's going to have a lot, it needs a lot of time, a lot of care, a lot of attention. The fret wire in this is pathetic. It's all tarnished, it's really bad fret wire. And this is your problem with Chibsons. Everyone I've had in has been garbage, in my opinion. They look the part, they're never going to play the part. Now I dare say, if you upgraded the pickups on this and upgraded the electrics and had a refret, it certainly looks the part. You can tell it's not Gibson when you play it. But we could get this fine, we could get it playable, get some new pickups in there, what have you. And whether, you know, if that satisfies you, then that's your look at. But I don't know what to do. The neck is straight enough for me to do a refret and get it playable. I just don't want you wasting money. And I don't want to do all this work and you not be happy with it. You know, if you're spending £500–600 on this guitar, you've got to be happy with the work. I'm happy to do it. It's just, is it worth it? If you want me to do it, I'll do it. I'll pull a fret, I'll get a saw in there, and I'll see how easy it's going to be to saw the slots and make them a little bit deeper for fret wire. We'll get some real good fret wire in there, and we'll get it done. It's just, I'm concerned about let me just make sure I get the bearings right. Right, there you go. There's the guitar. is this part here. This should be straight, the neck should be set straight. It's not, the neck is angled that way. So it means your bass side is going to be lower than your treble side. It means I've got to alter the bridge a little bit funny. Even though it's going to play perfectly straight, we'll maintain the height of the strings above each side of the fretboard. Right, it means your neck is going to be slightly angled back. So when you're playing it in this position, so your neck being perfectly straight up like that, your actual neck is going to be slightly, ever so slightly that way. It's going to slightly alter the way your wrist and hand works. But if you think you might have to lean the guitar forward to get to play it right, or you may just be fine with it like that. You know, but be aware that the neck, though it should be perfectly straight with the guitar, it actually twists that way a little bit. And it's along the whole length, it's the way it's set in this heel, the way the heel's glued in. It was not at 90 degrees when it went in, it's probably at 80, probably 92 degrees or something like that. You understand what I'm saying? I'm happy to do the work, but I will be charging the full amount for it, or whatever that may be. You know, I've had to charge for the neck being straight. These frets are, oh gosh darn awful. Let me see if I can get you a picture on camera. Like I say, I don't like these guitars, I don't like Chibsons. Let me just take a picture of where we are. And this is all of the frets, by the way. Look at the frets, they are all lifting at the edges. Look at the edges of the frets. We're not seated correctly, and this is down the whole length of the guitar. They're absolutely rubbish, so I'm going to remove the frets, get a saw inside there, saw inside to make the slots deeper. Then when I put my new frets in, I'm going to have to clamp and glue them in. It's going to take me a long time. It's going to be double the time of a normal refret. Now a normal refret, I start at £250. Doubling the time, you're already looking at 500 quid. I've straightened the neck. I'm not going to go over 600 quid on this, but is it worth you spending that? If you want the guitar playable, it certainly does look the part. The thing is, I can't guarantee that neck is going to stay straight, but I have straightened it, and I did say if it's still straight in 2 months, we'll look at doing a refret. It has stayed straight for 2 months, it has not wavered, it has not moved at all. So I think once I get the frets out, we'll get the pickups off. What we'll do is I'll get a, I'll re-radius the fretboard. You know, I could even probably radius it that side a little bit. That means I've got to cut the slots deeper. I'm not going to I'm going to re-radius it ever so slightly. I'm going to re-radius it to about whatever it is, 14 inch. And we'll look at getting some new frets in, getting a new nut on there, and taking it from there. So I'm going to send you this video separate. This video is also going to be part of the main video, but I will be sending this to Luke separately, just so he can you can see where we are with this. So let's see where it goes. Welcome back, guys. So did I mention that we were not going to go ahead with the refret on this Chibson? The agreement was, right, the agreement was that I have a look and try and get the neck straight. And if I get the neck straight, we proceed with the job, I refret it and what have you. So I did get the neck straight. Then we talked about it further and I said, look, if the neck stays straight for 2 months, we'll store it for 2 months. If it stays straight, we'll continue with the work. So 2 months later, the neck had stayed straight, so I says we can go on with the refret, but I let him know in light of the state of the frets and how the frets were all lifted, it means they're not seated deep enough, it means the slots aren't deep enough. I'd have to recut the slots and it means the money's going to go up. Also, with the neck not being set at 90 degrees to the heel, the neck sort of slants that way, it sends everything out, and you can tell that by how much the bridge is raised. There on the treble side, it's about 5mm in the air, but on the bass side, it's all the way down. And that's because the neck at this angle here is set, instead of it being set at 90 degrees, it's set that way. It's glued in wrong, it's not seated correctly. Anyway, long story short, Luke pulled out. He says, I don't want to pay all that money, basically. He doesn't want to pay the money for it. So I've decided to charge him. See, look, but for straightening the neck, I should be charging 150 quid. Because at the end of the day, I said to him, if I straighten the neck and it stays straight, I'll continue with the job. Or if it doesn't stay straight, I'll just charge you 75 quid. Now the thing is, I did straighten the neck, and the neck did stay straight. So I should really be insisting that I get me full money for straightening the neck. In future, for straightening the neck, by the way, I'm going to be charging £200. That's just for straightening the neck. But I've said to him, I'm going to charge you for £75, even though it's stage straight. I'm going to charge you for 75. I'm going to charge you 40 quid for a setup and 5 quid for strings. Total payable is £120. You can't say fairer than that. If he does want me to refret it at a later date, there's a standard straight price of £350. That means he'd have got the lot done for 470 quid, which again, you can't complain. I just personally think, you know, I can't guarantee the neck will stay straight. I think it will do, because everyone I've straightened in the past has stayed straight. It's just, there's too much wrong with this. The strings here be too far down. Look how far down. There's 6mm down there, 6mm up there. So they're too close together. The neck itself, instead of being sat flat to the body, it's actually set. It is set that way. So it bends back towards the base side. So there is that. All the frets are lifting along the edges and all the way down the neck. So the frets it does need a refret. The plastic nut is absolute garbage. So I would say this needs a new nut, it needs a refret. The thing is with this, that would not be ebony wood, it looks like it, that would just be a stained piece of maple. So when you get under there, it's probably going to be brown when you pull the frets out. I could do the refret and I'm happy to do it for 350 quid. But as things stand, £120 out of the door. I've wasted a lot of time on this, and for that reason, I'm completely done with Chibsons. I am not taking any Chibson guitar in again into Fret Friend. I'm done with them. I know there are good ones out there, but take them somewhere else. This has cost me too much time and money, you know, and they're just a ball ache, you know. What can I say? They're just not worth me doing. I've got a queue. I've got a 3-month long wait to get in here. Why would I be taking these sort of jobs in? Guys, please don't go out there and buy Chibsons. I've had 4 in here. Every one has been complete garbage in this shop. Don't get me wrong. I know there are good Chibsons out there. I know people that get Chibsons made at the, I know they come out of the Epiphone factory, the Chinese Epiphone factory, and they're coming out and they're brilliant. And they are Chibsons. They've got Gibson on the headstock and it's all hooky and under the table. And I know people who are privy to that and who have got right contacts and they could do that and get those guitars. I'm just not taking a chance anymore. I've got 12 months left in England. And I want to make the most of my time here. I want to make the most of Fret Friend, because I'll be taking Fret Friend to Canada in 1 year's time. And I want to make the most of it. And I don't want to be faffing about, wasting my time on stuff like this. This guitar has been here since, it's been about 4, 5, 6 months. And it's had a lot of time on the jig getting straightened and this, that and the other. And I'm not being paid for my time. And it's not worth it to me. These need too many hours. Go and buy a decent guitar. Go and buy an Ibanez. Right? Any sub £500, £400-500 Ibanez, it's going to piss all over this. You know, and then bring it to me if that needs work. Do that. You know, don't bring me Harley Bentons either. I'm not really interested in them. Everyone I've had so far, Harley Benton, has needed a fret level. I'm not interested. I'll take it in if you insist, but I'm really not interested in the Harley Bentons, and especially the Chibsons, because they're just a waste of time to me. They just take too long and need too much work. You can bring your Harley Bentons, I don't mind working on them, but you're going to be paying the price. Also, from today, my price for a fret level is now going to go up to £150 from £135. I've not put the price up for 3 years. Put it up to £150 because I'm now gluing the frets in. I've got one over there all glued and clamped up, and I'm going to glue each fret in individually before I level them now, just so they don't move once I've leveled them. So that is it. So that's where we are with this. So this Chibson, I can't remember what model it is, but it is done. I've done it. I've got a brilliant setup. It plays fantastic. I don't know how long it's going to last, but play it as it is. You know, but this one's out the door. So until next time, as always, just remind you of my website, facebook.com/NG17. That's facebook.com/NGONESEVEN. I am Victor. I am your Fret Friend. Unless you've got a Chibson. I'm your Fret Friend. And until next time, as always, God bless you. Be good to each other. And I'll see you next time.